I will call the June Planning Board meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody in attendance. We do have a quorum present tonight, so we don't have to vote on any absentee members. So we move right into, if anyone will review the minutes from our last meeting. I went through them today. I did not see anything that I saw that needed to be adjusted. Did anybody else see anything?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as written by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? There are none. Minutes have passed. So we do not have any members of the public here tonight, so we'll move on to our correspondence. Sheila, do you have anything for us?
No.
All right, we'll move into our new business. First item is the section 1312. This is related to the temporary outdoor event. At our last meeting, we reviewed what Joshua Hollis had recommended, and we added got a part A and a part B. So we got the temporary outdoor event and then the outdoor event venue. I've got all that corrected there. I left the other stuff that was in there, what's originally and currently in the ordinance, and then also the suggested revision and also what we reviewed and approved. I've marked through that because we're gonna change and go to this language here. Does anybody see anything in that we need to adjust?
I just have a question.
Okay.
Practically speaking, what is the difference between these two? Just the amount of days? One's 2 and one's 7?
That's correct.
There's no other difference like that? Who gets a permit, who doesn't get a permit?
The days and the time is all the same, yes.
So, green is what we're changing to?
Yes. That's what we talked about doing last week.
Okay.
Yeah, he had said that, Josh had said that there was a lot of overlap between the carnivals, fairs, festivals, and then the temporary outdoor events. Like there was some question about like where certain things would fall. And so he suggested one thing. I hope I'm characterizing this right.
You're
He
correct.
suggested one thing we could do was have like a temporary event and a long-term event, and then separate out nonprofit and for-profit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at now, I think.
So, I know the 2 consecutive days, we're kind of tailoring that to the North Carolina law that Sheila pulled up. Let me look at it. The General Statute 130A-250, where it talks about nonprofits having serving food in no more than 2 days. I don't think, it would be nice if we could combine it and say, last no more than 2 consecutive days and no more than 7 days. Maybe there's a way we can combine it.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. I'm like, if there's no practical difference other than the number of days, the same people would still have to apply for a permit, the same people would not have to apply for a permit. Everything's exactly the same. The only difference is delete 2, replace with 7, and then we really need categories?
I don't think so. Let me look at that in General Statute 130, and because we were sort of basing it off of.
So it would read last no more than 7 days, and there would be no 2? Is that what you're saying, Josh?
I don't know what to say.
What would you have that would last 7 days?
Some people put up a yard sale that would last 7 days.
Yard sales are different type of
Yeah,
permit.
yeah,
Yard sales
yard-
are temporary outdoor event.
Yeah, I mean, VBS at church, but that's nonprofit. I mean,
That's at your own, in your own
Yeah.
building, I mean, that's.
No,
I don't-
they wouldn't need a permit either.
Um,
It would be like a carnival coming through, or it would be like
Something,
a parade closing off 64 and having a parade come through, or.
For 7 days?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, it
On
would be
the
like an
outside,
outdoor
you really
event,
think
what
it's
I'm
something-
saying.
I guess my point was, okay, if I'm doing a one-day event, is it a temporary outdoor event or is it an outdoor event? Technically, it's both,
Yeah.
because one says no more than 2, one says no more than 7.
Well, I
It is
have
no more than
that,
2,
it's just
and
confusing.
no more than
to me.
7.
I would just,
Both.
I agree with you, I would probably just make an outdoor event and then say to last no more than,
7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can still
7
call
days.
it a temporary outdoor
and
event.
cannot
7
stay
seems
open
too
no later
long.
than 10 p.m.
Yeah.
is it state statute say 7?
No.
No, state statute.
Well,
Where do we get 7 from, I guess is what I'm
Well, I
asking.
don't know about the 7 as far as that, but the 2 days that we're utilizing up here in the temporary outdoor event was General Statute.
2 days is very common for a fair or festival.
130A. We go
I guess it's kind of like, which we would never do it, like the town of Nashville Blooming Festival, their carnival starts on Wednesday
Mhm.
and stays through Sunday.
Mhm.
So that would be, Wednesday, Thursday, about 4 days.
I mean, 7 seems like a
Yeah.
I don't know that we'd ever have anybody want to put something here 7 days. That'd be a lot of changes.
I mean, I don't know why we didn't.
We've been proven wrong on several things we thought we'd never have here, so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't think about this before, but I mean, it seems like we could just, I
Yeah, it
don't know,
does seem redundant.
make it 5, just stick with the top section of temporary outdoor event, and make
Okay,
it 5.
the general statute that applies to the nonprofit that prepares food, let me find it here. Establishments that prepare or serve food or provide lodging to regular boarders or permanent house guests on an hour with the rules governing food. Station.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking back at Josh's email. He said, I recommend consolidating these unless the board specifically wants to regulate 2 separate uses. And then he suggested the 2 separate uses. So he actually recommended consolidating them.
Trying to find that part of the. Okay, here we go. Establishments that are incorporated as nonprofit corporations. Okay, here we go. That are incorporated as nonprofit corporations in accordance with chapter 55A of the general statute, or that are exempt from federal income tax under the Internal Revenue Code as defined by General Statute 105-228.90, or that are political committees as defined in General Statute 163-278.6, and that prepare or serve food or drink for pay no more frequently than once a month for a period not to exceed 2 consecutive days, including establishments permitted pursuant to this part when preparing or serving food or drink at the location other than the permitted locations. think how we can incorporate them all together and designate the number of days.
I feel like all outdoor events are temporary. I mean,
Yeah, so, okay, I'm going back and look through Josh's
Yeah, that's
original
what-
email. So he said that sections 3112, which was the carnival fairs and festivals, overlaps with 31.36, which I looked back at our old town code, our town ordinance, and that is the outdoor events. So he's saying the carnivals, fairs, and festivals overlaps with the outdoor events. And so his suggestion was recommend consolidating them unless the board wants to regulate two separate uses. And it says, section 3136 can likely be deleted, which was the outdoor events, and those standards can be moved into 3112, which is what you've done, it looks like, here. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the direction he was going. Get rid of 3136 and then just have one outdoor event section.
I think we could do away with that outdoor event venue anyway,
yeah,
because we
Yeah.
never had a 7-day event.
Yeah.
So, does everybody agree to do away with the Part B completely?
well, and then my question is, if for some reason somebody wanted to have something more than 2 days, that's when they would come and ask for,
They would have to do a special, they had to do a special permit?
I would think so. They'll just have to come in and let us know they wanted to do an event, explain what the event is and.
Even if it's over, like say we do, say
yeah,
2 days.
what would be protocol if somebody came in wanting to do more than 2 days? If we
I think
kept
that would be up
it
to
to
my
days?
discretion, or whoever's here. The zoning administrator is what I would think, but I'm not positive about it.
I mean, y'all think 3 is a better number and to just leave it at 3? Like, what do y'all think?
Or you could add the verbiage at the bottom, you know, anything over a 3-day minimum would require
Special approval.
special approval.
We can do something like that.
Yeah, I like that. And then just to clarify, we'd also remove 31.36, which was,
That is
that
correct.
was our outdoor.
Yeah, we would remove
Yeah.
that one, and we would remove this. Let me make a note here.
Yeah, I think that, I like that a lot.
So removing outdoor event, and then, are we saying with 2 consecutive days, or?
We're gonna add, we're gonna keep the 2 consecutive days, right? Everybody
And
agree?
longer than that, has to be.
If event is,
Have to have board
We
approval.
really probably need to look it up, what the right thing to do about that is. Honestly.
let's see here.
That may be important, I'm just saying.
Alright, if the North Carolina town faces an event length limit in its local code, it cannot automatically issue a special permit to bypass it unless the text of the ordinance explicitly allows for administrative exceptions, variances, or a formal text amendment. A special or temporary permit cannot be legally override a strict legislation limit written into the code.
Yeah, it sounds like we can add that language that exceptions can be made by the zoning administrator.
Let's see.
Let's see what the statewide standard is. More than 5,000 people, that's the place for every group of hours.
So I just Googled in North Carolina, can a nonprofit have an event longer than 2 days? It says yes. I mean, I know we're looking at that 130A 250 because it's related to serving food. I'm thinking maybe we increase the number of days that we allow.
What do y'all have in there for profit organizations?
Same 2 days.
First, no more frequently than once per month.
Yes, a nonprofit can hold a food event longer than 2 days in North Carolina, but they lose their automatic health permit exemption and must apply for a standard temporary food establishment permit through their local county health department.
Yeah, but that's fine, though, that would be covered by that.
That's like at the state fair, like a nonprofit
Yeah.
serving at the state fair that lasts for 10 days, but they all have to be inspected up there.
And we got that covered by C, item C. This permit does not waive any other applicable federal blah, 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 blah,
Right.
or other permit. or
It's under
for-profit.
B and C.
Yeah, you're right. I would meant like C for the for-profit, but yeah, B for the nonprofit.
We can just take a stand, we're not gonna allow an event over 2 days.
Or we could do 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if a nonprofit does a 1-day event, they're gonna fall within the general statute 138 250. So they're gonna meet their requirement for that. So do we wanna increase the number of days from 2 to 3 or 4 or 5?
I'll just leave it at 2.
I'm good with leaving it at 2. And we'll do away with 31, 36.
And just to be clear, this is only when the event is happening. This isn't preparation or anything like that.
No, this is the actual day of the event.
When I used to help at Pumpkin Festival, I mean, we'd be getting ready for that for 2 weeks. Start closing down streets and
Yeah, that's true. How long is the pumpkin festival?
it's Friday night and Saturday, and they started going into Saturday night. But I mean, you start closing the road,
But
closing roads and different things.
didn't Carnival start before? Didn't it start midweek?
Used to.
Used to, and
You
then
should
it got,
do so
it got,
bad that
yeah.
that I'm
And
doing
they
it.
moved it this fall and this past year. But Nashville seems to have good luck with their carnival going Wednesday through the weekend. But they have such a good spot for it in the courthouse parking lot.
I don't want a carnival in Belmar.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I was just thinking of previous things I've been involved with. You know, you start closing roads and setting things up ahead of time, but this is for the actual event occurring. The number of days, not including any preparation of any kind.
Yeah, I'm good with 2. I can't think of any
Yeah,
scenario where there would be an
okay.
event lasting more than 2 days in Lennar.
Okay,
We got to stay low.
Yeah, that's right.
all right, let me make a note here.
Thunderstorm watch for Nash County expires in 6 hours and 9 minutes.
I heard on the way over here, there was a tornado watch for Cooper County.
I bought my raincoat so it wouldn't rain.
That's how I should offers out.
Oh, there's nothing close to us yet. It's on the other side of the room.
I'll never get close, I gotta drive.
All right, so we're good on that. We're gonna stick with the temporary outdoor event. We're gonna do away with outdoor event venue. We're going to remove 3136 in our current ordinance. So everyone good with that?
Yep.
All right. All right, we're gonna move to shipping containers. So Sheila had give us the information that came from the town of Nashville to review, just to see what they had. And then I just put some things together, nothing written in stone. It's just a start for us to start, determining how we're gonna, approach shipping containers. Obviously, we got some shipping containers already located in the town limits. In order to allow those to stay, obviously it would be a non-conforming structure. So I've drafted some language that we would have to add to Article 8, non-conforming structures. So I'd like everybody to tell me what do they think about that. Also, something we need to consider about the ones that are already here. Do we develop some development standards for the ones that are here? I'm gonna give you an example. Requiring the shipping containers to be painted a solid color when they're writing allowed on them. You know, that's an example of some things. And then I pulled some definitions from the information that we had from Nashville. So I wanted to throw that out. And I've kind of drafted a section, but that's just rough. It's for us to modify as we decide. Naturals has a lot related to, if you read theirs, they've got something related to residential section, and then they also have something related to how shipping containers would be in a industrial or commercial. I think really industrial. Does everybody still have their copy of that from last time? Everybody take that out. think right now in our ordinance, Sheila, if somebody's gonna get one of them moving pods to move them, would they have to come get a permit from you?
I don't know, I've never had that question before.
I don't think so,
I
but
don't think they do either.
because somebody that's gonna be moving is gonna get it,
Is
put their
there,
stuff in it, and it's gonna get hauled away.
yeah, is there a certain amount of days that could be on site, like temporarily?
I think it's like 30 days.
Oh, yeah, number 8 is within 30 days.
Yeah, I pulled, the stuff that's in green is where I pulled from the national one.
I
Some,
think what I've read in ours is like, they can do it for 30 days, they're asked to move.
A storage container may be placed, located, stored, and used on residentially zoned property as an accessory use for a temporary period not to exceed 60 days.
Oh, sorry.
Well, but then on the
That-
next page,
well,
I saw 30 days.
that's the new language.
Okay.
I'm gonna look in the current.
Then on
one.
number 8, it says, oh, it has to be removed within 30 days of getting certificate of compliance or occupancy.
That's not the current one, right?
Yeah,
Right, that's-
yeah, I'm gonna look up the current one now. Is it storage?
Is it under the manufactured homes as storage? That's the
No.
only place I can
I
find
think
the
it's under
word pod.
temporary hardships too.
Yeah, let me see.
Well, the business model of the pack rat or the pods is they drop it off, you pack yourself up, and they come move it when you call them.
But it said like, I'm looking at the section 1504, it's under the manufactured mobile homes as storage is prohibited, but then under that section it says semi-trailers, pods, or similar storage containers can be used for temporary use for a period of 90
It
days or
does,
less.
yeah, 1504 does.
It's under manufactured homes.
Yeah, manufactured mobile homes and storage prohibited. Use of manufactured home, well, you just read it, I don't.
Yeah, it's saying that you can't use mobile homes, but you can use storage containers and pods. Oh, it's weird just under that section, but.
Yeah,
It's under
manufactured,
31.33.
No, 1505,
Wow.
1504.
manufactured mobile homes as storage prohibited. So that means you can't use manufactured home, travel trailers for storage purposes. In all districts.
Which means if we're making changes to this, we need to probably change that section too.
Yep.
Especially if we have one saying 60 days and one saying 90 days.
Well, the difference though, you're talking about a storage container that somebody's going to permanently leave on their property for their personal use all the time. And the little pods, just like Jordan said, that's just where they drop it off for a certain specific period of time, and it's gonna disappear.
Like if somebody's doing a remodel,
Yeah,
you have to, you're remodeling your kitchen, and you need to put all your appliances somewhere.
yeah.
So I guess let me back up a little bit. I guess the first thing we need to, agree on, because we already have, I don't know how many in the town limits, creating a section in the ordinance that allows those to remain as a non-conforming structure. And then when we adopt a new ordinance, I think we're all in agreement, we won't allow any more in the town limits. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yes, but one thing concerns me what you just said, within the town limits, because
Cool.
as far as I know, whatever code we put in here would apply to the ETJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to specifically
Yeah,
state
we gotta
that it's.
talk about, is it just limited to corporate limits or?
I think so. If there's a farmer, that wants to use a storage container in his farm that you can't even see from the road, are we really gonna limit that?
Yeah.
Well, I have a question.
It's-
Why are we not allowed? I mean, why from this point forward not allowed? What's the reason for that? I mean, what,
I don't know if we ever discussed that in any of the,
why can't they be allowed?
what's that?
Why can't they be allowed?
We,
But I think when we discussed it before, if you didn't put a limit on it, they might put $5 out.
Well, allow them to put a limit on it.
And who
And we
makes
could
five?
we could put development standards to them too. I'll
I
give you an
think that-
example, we got a builder that buys buildings from us, they're building buildings where they're putting the shipping containers out on the outside and buying a building from us and putting over the top and making, you got your storage and then you got a big open shelter.
I mean, I get the stacking, I read in here there's stacking, but, you know, they're long-term, you know, you keep them painted, they stay.
Oh, yeah.
they
It's
stay
kinda like
nice.
Jordan said, they're better than a stick building you buy.
Oh,
Yeah, those buildings that you buy, the outbuildings that are plywood, they rot.
Yeah, I had one from Lowe's and tore mine down, that's why I got the
Okay,
shipping container, cause mine was, I mean, ragged, it don't last.
okay.
So you put something there that's gonna last and it's like have a regulation to have them painted, neutral color painted, I mean, they last.
I don't have a preference one way or the other, but I think we do need to have a limit on the number, no stacking,
Right.
having painted.
Cause you gotta think, go down the road,
And it still has to meet the exterior building code as far as how far away from the house, in the rear.
All right, so I'm gonna take some notes here, and again, this in green is just something I threw together so we can have a starting point here. So is everybody good with allowing them, and we put restrictions on them?
Well, and there's more than one length, so there's the full length, or there's.
There's 40 and 20.
40 and 20?
40 and 20, and they're all 8 foot wide, so you got a max of 320 square feet
Okay.
for the 40 by 20, I mean 40 by 8.
I mean, have we had anybody complain about the look of the town from storage containers?
Not that I'm aware of, you still?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is America, right?
I
Yeah.
think there are conversations that travels around where these are getting more popular. So just like the town of Nashville or whatever town you might talk to somebody, they're bringing it up in their meetings and stuff. So I feel like if we don't do something, then we'll be behind, you might say, you know. And for the ones that's already got them here, I think we need to do something so they're non-conforming. So they don't, they can keep them as they are,
Right,
you know.
right. All right, so let me make some notes. So I think we gather our information on what we want to do tonight, and I think this is going to be something that I need to bounce off with Joshua Hollis on the best way to approach this about the non-conforming for the ones that are here, and then we set up some standards.
Your setbacks could probably be the same setbacks you already have for your outbuildings.
It would be in the rear, would we allow it in the side yard? I'm thinking allowing in the rear.
Well, you think about what's in your store, you know, theirs is all in the back.
Right,
We got 5 of them.
okay,
They got, but theirs is in the back.
okay.
I think
Yeah, Kirby's is in the back,
Well, see, that's
hers is
what
in the
we
back.
call
where she's at. This is.
I'm saying we need to go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Person
So-
it.
So theirs is 20
we had
years.
something about development,
Curves is 40.
then next thing
So,
you know,
just
Jackson
not
Place
to,
come
not to
up
butt
with
in,
a-
but there are 53 foot
We had to
cargo
go
containers, 'cause I load them all the time.
Okay,
So I think you probably need to put, a size, 40 is probably,
that's the biggest,
Very, it's plenty.
yeah,
okay,
but 53 foot ones do exist, cause we load them all the time, I mean, like,
okay.
that's,
It would be big.
yeah.
All
But I mean,
right,
a van body trailer is 52, 53 foot. Like a normal size van body.
okay. Allow, max size,
Probably.
And that's the other thing, y'all don't want a van body semi-trailer in somebody's yard on wheels. This is an unwheeled shipping metal cargo container. This is not a semi van body trailer that still has axles. This needs to be axle free.
Okay.
There you go. Like that. That's good.
Yeah, cause you wanna put size, cause even if you live in shipping containers, you don't put a size on it, the transfer truck.
Yeah,
So,
transfer, that's what I'm saying, transfer truck is 53 foot.
Yeah.
Anywhere, depending on the brand, 52, 53.
Okay, number of 2 max.
I would say two. Steve.
Yeah, 2 max, no stacking.
Yeah.
Does anybody have more than 2 at the moment that you know of?
Touching Father's Love does. They got 5.
That goes to that non-conforming.
Conforming.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they won't be able to add more.
I don't think anybody's yard has enough room for that, more than
They
2.
got them in the back.
Right, but a residential yard is not going, they're not gonna waste that much yard on it
Yeah.
anyway. I do think the 40-foot length needs to be the maximum,
Okay,
cause now the 53, that's a house.
Yeah, that's,
And that's a semi truck.
yeah, that is. I mean, I don't think that.
so 2 max per residential zone.
And that doesn't mean you can have 4 20s. That means you can have 2 20s,
Right.
120, 140, or 2 40s.
So you're gonna put a max on the only on the residential?
No, we're gonna need to do it for the commercial as well, or we're gonna have to talk about, the light industrial and general industrial.
That's a good point, yeah.
Thinking, cause they're, businesses.
Mhm.
We're mainly talking about
Yeah.
residential
Yeah.
right now, so max size, what should be in there? No axles. Two max per residential zone, only allow in, rear.
Yeah, so the exterior, already the rule for the exterior structure for the houses has to be with Dash County Building Code, X amount off the house and in the rear, right?
Yeah, we've
So it
got,
needs to be in the rear
look what our,
and X amount away from the house.
look at our setbacks.
And I don't know how much color scheme could be picked apart,
You know,
but
pink?
color, a neutral or a color scheme of the home, I don't know.
I think you said neutral color,
Yeah, neutral,
yeah,
See the
with no
definition.
lettering.
Yeah, definitely no lettering, 'cause that'd be some crazy stuff.
Let's see, setbacks.
Well, most of the time when you buy them, their colors of like a beige.
Says it may be located in the side or rear yard, not on any street, road yard, or section of well house. Not less than the principal building setback for the district except as provided in B. 5 feet from lot lines, 20 feet from road right of way. Minimum corner lot, set side yard backs for district shall apply to all corner lots.
And the definition of a neutral color is subdued and doesn't strongly compete with other colors. Neutral colors are often used as backgrounds. Common neutral colors include white, off-white, ivory, cream, beige, tan, taupe, gray, black, brown, grayish, which is a mix of gray and beige.
And it's also got to be 10 feet from the principal structure.
Yeah.
Sheila, where are you getting that information from, if you don't mind me asking?
On the page 66 and 67 in the dimensional.
Yeah. The
I got the digital version, I'm sorry, I don't know.
You're fine, so the dimensional
Oh, I got it.
requirements.
Okay, yeah, here we go,
It's
requirements.
like the third page,
Way
now.
down.
I got you.
Residential accessory
Way down.
structures and building standards,
So like we can get
35.06.
Okay, gotcha, thanks.
Then we can't load a 53 foot 140,000 pound house as a permit. Depends on the truck, but they can carry. So sometimes the extra length ain't no.
Well, daggone, do we just need to change this section and add storage container in section D? It has residential accessory structures and buildings may include, but are not limited to, the following: garage, greenhouse, playhouse, pump house, storage shed, tool shed. Can we just add a
Probably
storage
so,
container?
yeah. Probably add it to that section.
And then we don't have to change
What
it again.
What section is that?
3506, residential accessory structure and building standards. I mean, if you wanted to put more limits on it, Jordan, we might have to clarify that down.
Yeah, I
towards
think
the
we had
bottom.
to probably add to that section, but you could,
That seems like a lot easier.
yeah, then creating a whole new section. That's why we're discussing.
Good job, Sheila, good find.
I have to find that all the time. That's a normal.
We could do it just like, have it in the list like you're talking about, Josh. And if you notice there's a section on swimming pools, stables, we can just have shipping containers.
Gotcha, yeah, under E.
Um, So are we gonna restrict it to only be in the rear of the lot, or are we gonna go with this normal setbacks? In the side, or we're gonna keep what we got in 3506, right? Let me see what it says.
Yeah, it says side or rear.
Okay, is everybody good with side or rear?
I think the rear looks better.
You have to put it back with the normal lot.
Well, but are outbuildings side or rear?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the same.
So everybody good with that?
Satellite dishes.
Yeah.
Crack me up. But hey, we're right back with SpaceX now again.
Yeah, so-
Starlink satellite dishes.
Neutral color. So here's what I've got noted down. Some standards for shipping containers. Max size 40 foot, no axles, 2 max per residential zone, side or rear, neutral color. Let me look at something. See what the North Carolina Building Code requires.
Oh, and to not stack, that was another thing.
Yeah.
I looked up some common limitations, some other things to consider. It's like hooking up electrical, water, or plumbing is usually prohibited.
Yeah.
And storing toxic, explosive, or combustible waste inside the units is strictly banned.
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's probably covered by North
Yeah,
Carolina.
it says, the North Carolina Building Code generally does not regulate simple standalone shipping containers used strictly for non-habitable outdoor storage, but local city or county zoning ordinance heavily restrict their placement, permits, and use. Rules depend heavily on whether the container is temporary or permanent. Yeah, it says, building permits often exempt if used strictly as a portable or temporary storage box, but required if anchored to a permanent foundation or wired for electricity. So, here's something else for us to keep in mind. Bona fide farms in North Carolina are typically exempt from these structural and zoning placement limits. So keep that in mind about farms.
We're in the county.
So, all right, so we're gonna add it to 3506.
It's covered in that about vacant lots too, right? You can outbuild to a vacant lot.
Yeah, we need to have something in there
Oh,
about,
Yeah.
Yeah, would that be covered under, like, if we put it in that section, would that be covered? Because
we good.
it's an accessory structure, I think it requires,
That's right,
does that require there to be a primary residence already?
yes,
That would
Yes.
cover that for us.
okay.
Yes, primary structure has to be there first.
All right.
In my building, you could put electricity to it if you wanted to.
What's that?
I said, my building, I could hook up electricity if I wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just using it for storage. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's set up so it could be,
I mean, a lot of people probably do that, get a little storage building, and later on, they run electricity to it, so, I mean, what? Probably a lot of things done after the fact that nobody knows about.
yeah, because, it's
I
set up.
was suggesting,
That I
that you
do.
wanna leave that in there, improve surface, including asphalt, concrete, gravel, cement, material, sand will be placed on grass or any other unimproved surface.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Do we wanna require it to have to be like gravel?
On the block.
Yeah, blocks, cause that's what.
We
they
have to
put on.
level it anyway.
Yeah,
They put it on, mine's on railroad ties, and so is Curtis.
okay.
Cause you want air up underneath it, it is,
And
it
those
sits
rocks.
there on, they
In the
can't get
dirt,
underneath it,
yeah.
it'll start rusting.
Yeah,
So you have to get it off the ground. That's why I didn't know, but if it's temporary, I understand the surfaces. If it's something that's gonna stay there, it's got.
and also keep in mind, I just pulled some stuff,
Yeah.
so, again, talking points for us.
Typically, it's placed on something
So
for
let's,
rust, but also to level it,
Mhm.
because,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
so,
So keep 4 and 5, basically. Because you had said about I guess 5 would already be covered by, if we put it in that section. That's what we said. 5 is about putting it
so
on the
for
vacant
4,
lot.
we're gonna say, we need to add some things to 4. We got approved service for an asphalt, concrete, gravel, or, wood. Cross ties. Or,
Don't you just put, it has to be elevated off the ground a certain amount, a certain foot.
If it's on,
Instead of
if it's
having
on
to
gravel
list
though, if it's
every
on
little
gravel, it
thing
wouldn't
you
be.
can,
If it's on gravel, it wouldn't be elevated though, it'd be directly on the gravel.
So is your dad's elevated? Also?
Yeah, it's on blocks. That's the only way to level it.
Okay.
Else it'd be,
Yes.
typically put on blocks or cross ties or something.
Yeah, I mean asphalt, concrete, gravel, wood, or similar material.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty.
I was just thinking, why
That's
have
pretty
to list
open-ended.
out 50
Yeah.
different ways, I want.
So we'll keep number 4 because we got that similar material that would cover blocks, whether it be wood or concrete block. You agree with me, Josh, and everybody? Like, what do y'all think, or do we need to be more specific?
So you kind of just doing it like the ones already in here, page 67, like number 1 talks about swimming pools, number 2 talks about stables,
Yes.
number 3 we talk about shipping containers,
Yeah,
A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, we would have, add that to that section.
It lasts long enough.
I didn't know, you were just saying number 4 and number 5.
Well, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
we're talking about
I'm
this.
sorry, yeah.
We're talking about the 4 from his proposed language, that's what he's on.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
where it threw me off.
Confusing,
Okay.
confusing everybody.
That's fine.
But yeah, I think like you could add shall not be placed on dirt, grass, or
Well,
unapproved.
that would kind of knock it out so they couldn't, not put it on something.
I just, yeah, I said, yes, I think 4 is good.
Okay.
I don't believe anything about the foundation, they want to bring it in, it's on their lot, bring it in.
Put it on,
Just put it in.
put it on the dirt where it rots away, oh well.
Set it up.
That's what I'm saying.
We gonna,
Good
so
point.
I'm gonna put all this together
If
in
somebody
next,
spends that much money on it, too, for sure, they would do it, would fix that on it so it wouldn't rot. I mean, common sense.
You can't underestimate what people will do.
That's true, too. That's very true.
I mean,
I think we
just
need
leave
to
it there and-
I think we need to have something in there about it needs to be level.
Instead of place, we could put level,
Leveled on a foundation.
level on an approved surface.
You can't level it up.
That would be kind of impossible. Well, it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be a pain in
I would
the.
say level
It
on a
would be
foundation.
because it was shipped.
Or you could put, must be placed and level on,
Because the old
Approved
houses,
surface,
they
something
did blocks and you shipped it. So the old house, then you have to go back in there and put a block on
Okay.
How you ever gonna know what they're doing anyway? You don't have to have a permit to put it in
No,
there.
you don't.
You're just gonna put it in there.
No, you're right.
So,
You're right.
Pete.
You're right.
it'd be different if somebody's gonna come inspect it to make sure you're putting it
Or
according
brother.
to.
You're exactly
but
right.
if they like do some crazy stuff like Pat was saying,
Yeah.
and it
Joyce
doesn't
Pete.
comply, we can make them remove it.
it.
Pete, he had
If we have it in
his
there.
wife.
Or correct.
Oh, correct, yeah.
lived in that
If we don't have anything in there, you can do whatever they
house.
want.
Steal.
If we
Yeah.
can like have some basic stuff.
That's why I was just saying a foundation.
Cause they have claimed
Yeah.
that yard,
Foundation
you see?
behind
Yeah,
it.
simple's probably better.
Yeah, I
You're right.
thought they were doing something.
Cause if you don't spend that money, you're definitely gonna put it up there.
He didn't,
Correct. You can't open
What
up
the
the
doors
doors
they
if it's
cleaned
not
all that
locked.
stuff on the
Right.
house for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
You get a
I'm
red
sure-
It has to sit a certain way.
Then-
He would have never, he'd have never survived that if he was living.
So,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
so I got everything for that we're gonna add to 3506. What I'll do is, get something drafted up and then next time we can, review it. I think the next thing we need to consider is what are we gonna allow for light industrial and general industrial?
It says in the North Carolina stuff, it says, if your property is zoned light industrial or heavy industrial, containers generally enjoy an automatic exemption from extra placement permits. They are allowed as a primary or accessory use by right. The catch is they must be positioned behind or to the side of the primary business and meet the standard setbacks.
Okay.
So they're kind of like the farm, I guess.
The next section deals with that, 3507.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right
The
now.
location, setback, and height of any commercial, industrial, or office accessory structure or building shall be in accordance with the direct minimum established for the principal use and the buffer yard regulations. Basically, it doesn't
Doesn't really say.
doesn't say there's any limitations or anything like that. It just,
So I think what we should do is take some of the language that she just
Yeah.
read.
change
and
3507.
Yeah, 35, change 3507. You got that from the state?
It's North Carolina, yep.
Right.
Then that is talking about the large acreage, where you talking about the farms.
Right. Is that on the North Carolina General Statutes website, Sheila?
The Unified Development Ordinance,
Is that for county,
no state.
state?
I mean, the only real difference between what we would allow in the commercial business, whatever, and what we would allow in residential is just the number
And the stacking.
and the stacking. And maybe we could just update 3507 to say commercial, whatever,
And painting, we put that in there.
commercial, industrial,
So industrial, you're allowed to stack.
yeah, would be
Industrial's
allowed.
allowed to stack and no length restriction, probably.
And no, or, and like.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen any stack that.
Well, I was saying that, oh, that's just not,
Yeah.
where was this from?
What's that? That green part?
The green part has them, but there should be no stacking, that's under light
That,
industrial.
yeah, that's, I pulled some of that language from, I pulled some language, well, I say I pulled it, I pulled some of the, what was in the national and reworded it.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna stack them unless they have a forklift to get in them, because you can't get in it. And then you get into, or somebody building stairs or steps, and then it's becoming a building thing. So unless somebody has the equipment to even access it stacked, you're not gonna have that.
Yeah, and I think if we're updating the 3506, I think one of the sections says that the accessory building can't be taller than the primary building.
Does
So,
it say that same thing in 3507?
well, no, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I don't think we have to worry about stacking residential.
No,
Well, they're only about 10, probably 10 foot tall, 10, 12 foot tall. By the time you put them on blocks, it'll probably be a 15-foot maximum by the time you put them on blocks. It says the interior height is like 9, and it's not very thick, it's just metal. So I just was figuring 10.
so that was in 160D, Sheila, the North Carolina State General Statutes.
I'll email it to you if you want.
Okay, yeah, if you'll do that. Alright, so make sure I understand what we're gonna do related to the 3507. We're going to adjust that 3507, and that says commercial, industrial, and office accessory structure and building standards, so we need to think about that. Do we want, what you read is it's allowed in.
It is, it says normally in North Carolina, the property is zoned light industrial, or heavy industrial. Containers generally enjoy an automatic exemption from extra placement permits.
So 3507, we gotta adjust that, cause it says commercial. And we
But
need-
it says they're allowed as a primary or accessory use by right.
Okay, so they're allowed in industrial, so the section we have now in our current ordinance, it has commercial, industrial, and office accessory structure and building standards. Where it doesn't say anything about shipping containers, so we're gonna have to decide what we're gonna do. Are we gonna do something different for commercial? I think we would because, I think, commercial businesses, they may have them temporarily for, sometimes you see them like at Walmart, but that's when they're inside doing work and they use them as temporary storage. But I
Yeah,
don't think,
particularly like she was saying, Touch of Father's Love has 5 of them.
yeah, I know we're,
I mean, if we're modifying this to say that there's no limit for commercial, what is that, how is it zoned again?
that's commercial.
So like, if we're modifying this to say there's no limit or the limit's 10 or what, I don't know, whatever,
Yeah, well,
then that would make them
right, that would make them
in
compliant.
compliance, yeah.
So, we need to think on that. What's everybody's thoughts on that? It's in the rear, so,
It does say it has to follow the location setbacks and heights established for principal use and buffer regulations. In the.
but we also gotta think about, let's just hypothetically think, new business comes tomorrow. And I know, I mean, it seems kind of far-fetched, but. it
We
could-
tried for 10 years to get something.
Yeah, I guess we need to think about, that all as well in the future. If you got like a strip shopping center, are we gonna wanna have, I mean, obviously they're not gonna have it in the front, but,
Yeah, those are really common in the back of businesses,
yeah,
really,
So-
really common. I mean, I would think we would want to allow that
yeah.
as storage.
It looks better than not.
So just some things to think about. So let's do this, let me take what Sheila's gonna send me and let me, come up with some language from 3507, for commercial, industrial. It says office and accessory structure and building standards, so I think we're gonna have to think about where we allow it, but let me take what she gives me and come up with some language, and then we'll address that next time. And when we review the update on 3506.
Yeah, I have a suggestion, just, I mean, we don't have to talk about it anymore, I know time's going by, but you could reference back to the previous section D and E and all of the stuff we've outlined there, and just say examples of accessory structures that would be covered or allowed are provided in sections D and E previously, right? Like, is there anything that we wouldn't allow, that we would allow in residential that we wouldn't allow in commercial? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you would
It'd
probably.
probably be backwards, but we would.
yeah,
allow
exactly,
it.
that's what I'm saying. So like, we could reference
It'd
the
be more
residential.
stringent in residential versus commercial.
Yeah, so we could reference the residential section and then say, with the exception of section E to C or whatever, more than 2, like 5 storage containers may be used instead of 2 or something. Like, you see what I'm saying?
I
Instead of rewriting all of that information again, we could just reference that section and
That makes sense.
make any changes we need to.
Okay, I got that noted. Alright, I also will do some research on how do we handle, well, we've already handled it. If we set it up the way we got it, we will tackle the ones that we already have in town. So, is there anything else we want to discuss, any further on shipping containers? Alright, so the next item we're gonna discuss is, and this comes from when we first started this process, there was an ordinance review changes, there was a, mention of, ordinance 3131, kennels or pet grooming. It was noted, add to RA to allow districts, allowing RA districts make current kennel located in any Lee Lane allows the stipulation if it is non-operational for more than 180 days, it cannot resume operation without a special use permit. Allow no other kennels to be started in the district. So that was what was in that document.
I do have one thing that I
Okay.
have to mention that I checked into.
Okay.
We don't need to specify any Lee Lane, we need to make it more
Oh.
generalized as.
Oh yeah. I only reason
No, I know, I was just
Only
saying, we need to
because that
take
was-
specification out and just say kennels, cause there is a kennel across the railroad track, that was, I don't know if it's still the dogs or not.
No, they don't have.
But there's one across the railroad tracks, and I know there's one on Runt Lane, and I know there's one on Trestle Loop Road. There's two on Trestle Loop Road. I think we need to be more general. I'm just saying, we can't,
Yeah.
let's
yeah.
not point fingers, we need to
No,
do it
I-
as
I-
a general.
Trustwood
There's kennels on Trestle Loop Road too.
So
Hunting dogs. they're not-
okay.
to clarify, I'm strictly reading what when we.
Right, and I wrote that, and I
Yeah.
know that's in there, and at the time,
And I'm
I
not
was just-
singling anybody out here.
Right.
This was
I'm just trying to avoid,
this is a list of.
issues.
Yeah, I understand where you're going.
I mean, I agree with 180 days. I agree with all of that. We just
Yeah,
need
so-
to take out the Annie Lee Lane part.
So I just wanted to point this out. The board previously, before we started this, going through this ordinance, we had reviewed allowing when we changed to allow roosters in the town limits, and the board decided to keep it as it is. So I'm just pointing out that we need to make sure that we're consistent about what we're doing. If we've got complaints, and I don't know if you've got any complaints, Sheila. Have you got any complaints from anybody about roosters or dog kennels or anything like that?
I've had someone call me about some of the dog kennels, and I informed them that one of the kennels in question was there before the town was even incorporated. So they were basically grandfathered in, and there was nothing the town could do about it at this point in time.
Okay. Which one was that? Is that one we're talking about?
You said we agreed to leave roosters?
No, we didn't. If I said we agreed to leave the ordinance the way it was, not allow roosters,
Oh, yeah.
what I meant to say. I apologize for that.
Yeah, we allowed roosters, we had 10 pieces. Just joking.
So anyway, just
chicken fried.
but so what you're saying, if they've had a kennel since before
The town
91,
wasn't, yes. The
Okay,
kennel was
well,
there
then it's-
before the town was incorporated.
that's a
I looked it up.
that's a non-conforming.
Unless it goes non-operational for 180 days, then that would mean you lose it.
Well, you
So
couldn't open it back up unless
Right.
you came and got a special permit.
Okay.
so I think the
But I was just saying, we can't. label that. We need to say any kennels in the town limits of Bowmar, if they are laid dormant for more than 180 days, they cannot be removed without special permit or whatever.
So, let me look at that section up, but I didn't print it out.
And then that would cover any of them. You see what I'm saying?
30,
You know, kind of like no new ones are allowed, but the present ones.
well, that would be covered in the, non-conforming. I don't know how that, we look at the Article 8.
Like I said, I was not knocking what you wrote. I was just saying we can't. point fingers.
No, I didn't write that. I mean, that's whatever that information.
Right, and I did put that in there the first time I wrote it, yes, but we cannot leave that part in there.
No, I was just reading what was there, because I've tried to go through that whole list and make sure we've addressed everything that was brought up on that list. Article 8. Let's see what it says about non-conforming situations. 'Cause we've got a whole section on that.
Yep.
Because that would be, if it was, before 91, it's a non-conforming condition. That's a non-conforming use. Is a lawful existing use on a parcel of land or within a structure that met all the legal requirements in effect prior to the effective date of this ordinance or any subsequent amendment, which as a result of a change to the ordinance would no longer be permitted if were proposed today. So if we go look at 31, then
Yeah, number 4 states that. If any non-conforming use land ceases by vacancy or non-use for any reason, a continuous period of 180 days.
you read that out of Article 8.
70.5, non-conforming use of land.
70.5.
70.05, yes. I think you're all right.
Leg bothering you.
I don't sit that much in that.
Okay, I was just checking on you.
That means I just had to get up, get it.
Making sure you're okay. It's page
She felt the
113.
spirit.
I don't know which one you
Yeah,
got, but
it's-
it's on 113.
Yeah,
It's number 4.
okay.
Yeah, I did that at Roden Beach.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna look at you can lead it over. I just want to make sure you're okay.
She wants to make a motion.
So I don't think we're gonna have to add anything, because it was before 91 when the town was incorporated.
I do go standing, I do sit.
It's a non-conforming use that was grandfathered in, and then number 4 right here on 70.05, it says if any non-conforming use of land ceases for any reason for a continuous period of more than 180 days, any subsequent use of such land is required to be conforming use in the district in which such land is located for purpose of determining whether a right to continue a non-conforming situation is lost pursuant to subsection. All the buildings, activities, and operations maintained on a lot are generally to be considered as a whole. For example, failure to rent one apartment in a non-conforming apartment building or one space in a non-conforming mobile home park for 180 days shall not result in a loss of the right to rent the apartment or space, therefore, thereafter, so long as the apartment building or mobile home park as a whole is continuously maintained. But if a non-conforming use is maintained in conjunction with conforming use, cessation of operation or occupancy of the non-conforming use for the prior period shall terminate the right to maintain it thereafter. So that would, if anybody had a kennel that was grandfathered in and they stopped it, and it went 180 days, that right there,
They wouldn't be able to
They
use
wouldn't be
it
able
without
to-
getting a special
they,
use
without getting a
permit.
special use
No,
permit.
and I'm just asking for clarification. So a kennel that's in business is a business,
Right.
and then a kennel for sport, we're treating them the same?
No, different.
No, it is
It's
different, it's a
different.
dog pen.
Okay,
But who knows if they sell, I don't know if they sell their dogs or not.
right.
You don't know,
Then
none of us do.
The complaint would be the noise, not that it's a kennel, but it's probably the noise.
Right.
Yes.
So then that would go under, would that fall under a noise ordinance problem outside of the kennel being allowed?
Um,
I'm just curious, cause I mean,
But you,
it's grandfathered in, but what trumps what? Does the noise ordinance and complaints from citizens trump that?
the non-conforming use that's been there before is grandfathered in, so
Yeah,
that would trump.
It doesn't matter, right?
this happens all over the country. There's like a gun range and then people develop houses next to it and complain about the gun range.
That's
And they're
right.
like, tough.
Same thing with farmland, yeah, same thing with farmland, same thing.
I
So
know
is
I know there have been some issues with the noise, questions about the noise. I do that for a fact.
Look,
I don't think it's just in her general area that they've had problems with the noise.
So if you've substantiated that it was there before 91,
Yes, I did. I looked it up. I went back and pulled the records.
So is the issue that that specific kennel is in RA and the kennel's not allowed in RA,
Right.
it's only allowed in RAE?
right?
But she's saying it was here before RE
Town was
existed.
even- Yeah.
Correct,
it's
because
in
it was
town.
town was
Yeah.
incorporated.
So
Yes.
which means we don't need to do anything, right?
That's correct.
And actually, if you want to know the truth, a permit was issued to her for it.
Look at that.
Here,
Yes, it was.
okay.
Next.
I mean, even though it was technically here before the town was, they still came and they got a permit from the town to do it.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're kinda,
Substantiated all that, then
I did.
I don't see where we need to change that. We need to, if it's already grandfathered in, we just need to leave the ordinance the way it is. That will keep from any more being allowed.
I do know
Yes,
there's been some issues with the noise, but
What would you want to add, Colin?
I was just, it takes me a long time to absorb things. But I'm a little bit confused. How could she get a permit if she's not RARAE, whichever one she is?
So the permit that was issued, was
Kenneth
that,
Parker signed it.
Special
I know, it
use.
don't matter who signed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, and the town
I
clerk
know.
signed it.
Was it
I won't
special,
point
was
fingers
it
at
special
Kenneth, I was
use?
just saying.
I know it
What
was.
kind of permit was it, special use
Well, if it was
permit?
here before the town, then how did the town?
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
moved,
what I was
it was here before the town was even incorporated.
But I can't quite understand why he would have given her a permit. I'm still my question, I don't care who signed it, I know who signed it.
If it was grandfathered in, why'd you need it?
Well, no, if she don't live in the right, which is she, RA or RAE?
She's RA.
Okay, so she's supposed to be RAE to have it, right?
That's right, yeah.
So how could she get a permit? Shouldn't she have gone a different step instead of getting a
she
permit?
would have had to, ask for
Special use permit.
Yeah, that's,
Special use
okay,
permit.
And she could
I'm
have.
good with that.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here hearing the conversation, it takes me a while
Well,
to
somebody,
absorb.
I mean, somebody run a business before this was incorporated, and then it gets incorporated and there's now zoning. I think if it was my business, I would have wanted to come forward and say, look,
And then get a permit,
yeah, I wanna
Yeah,
make sure
that makes
I'm
sense.
covered. I mean, then if they issued a special use permit, yes, you were already here. We're recognizing you were already here, here's a special use permit. That was maybe just a formality, but
Yeah.
either way, it was
When they
grandfathered
came-
in.
Yeah,
When he came and talked to us about the ordinances, he didn't say, he said you could still enforce the ordinances that are in place even if they're grandfathered in. You can still enforce them. He did say that. So we all want to fight that battle.
I don't think that would be at the top of the list.
I don't even know.
That'd be-
Unless there's
That'd be up to town board.
Unless there's a public outcry.
No, I don't think that makes sense. It was there first, like, I don't think that makes sense.
The whole issue now is a town board. I mean, that's an issue for them to fight, they will fight. But as far as the ordinances, I don't think they change anything.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it'll be a losing battle. It's kind of like Josh said, you know, it was a gun range and people raised hell because it was a gun range and they were like, well, you know, gun range was here before you were. You knew it was there when you moved here.
That's right.
without was just in one limelight, just like the one at the railroad track. Nobody was over there, so you don't hear them dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he built it without, he also built it without a permit too.
Because that is in the city limits still. It
Yes,
doesn't
is.
change till Mount
It is in-
Zion,
It is in the city
Yeah.
limits.
change at Mount Zion, right.
Yep. But, I mean, it's,
Well, you had to get a town permit, but if you're building something 10 by 10, if it's 10 by 10, the county's not gonna require you to build a permit.
And the ordinance, is that, if they're hunting dogs, is that,
That's personal use, so.
Those dogs
They limit
are
how many
trained
animals you
for
could have,
police.
well, it'd be a dog pen, but he was still supposed
Supposed
to
to
be
be
a
in the
permit
house
before he
before
did
they
it.
I'm just talking about the amount of
The
dogs.
limit, I don't think I don't think we have anything in our ordinance limiting the number of dogs.
Only farm animals have a number limit.
You train the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Only farm animals have a number limit. That I've
Supposed to
seen.
be in the same thing.
That's all it
Alright.
is, just farm animal.
And the whole chicken thing.
Because it's state,
So are
That
we,
nobody follows.
state overrules.
are we good with the
County
31,
overrules.
Yeah, I think so.
31? Okay.
Just removing the
So,
annually land part.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
That's just a note.
that was just a note.
Right, but I'm saying, that's
Yeah.
the only part that needs to be removed.
Well, we don't have anything in our current ordinance now that says anything
Right,
specific.
we're gonna leave it as
We're
is.
gonna leave it as is.
Okay.
Just to come full circle, dog pens are considered residential accessory structures.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Which is, anyways, alright, I'm good, move on.
Also mentioned in the sort of things to review and possibly change was, section 3133. Actually, 3133A. So, which I think we need to fix our ordinance, because we have a 3133A, but the 3133 before that is references library, so I've got that mentioned in my notes here. I don't know what I did. Oops. So let's look at 3133A first, manufactured home. So it referenced RMH does not show oldest trailer permissible in ETJ or town limits. Have been told it is 1976 or later. There is a North Carolina general statute. You cannot not allow due to the age of the mobile home. And, it has to be 1976 or greater.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
But I do recommend that we add, the following language: type of unit allowed, a single wide manufactured home that meets HUD standards as constructed in 1976 or later, contains at least 980 square feet and has a minimum dimension of 14 foot wide, may be permitted. So I think we need to add that to 31, 33 in our current ordinance, because it doesn't reference anything related to that.
Hold on, I'm confused. So we can't we can't exclude based on the age of the home,
Correct.
but it's, I mean, it
But
looks
you
like that's what,
basically just said that.
yeah, didn't you? It looks like that's
Well,
what
no.
you said.
It's related, let me look up the general statute. I might have it printed out, but it's 160.
Yeah, I mean, it does say that HUD standards was constructed, but that's basically,
Yeah, that's,
to me, that's basically saying what year you can have. Constructed in 1976 or later.
hey,
Housing
and
and urban
that's
development.
standard
Yeah.
for a trailer now.
Right, but still, that's saying if they manufactured,
So,
constructed in 1976.
In other words, you can't go get a trailer that's parked over yonder and bring it, put it somewhere, because it's not this standard.
That's right.
Because it is some, how bad you don't meet the standard.
That's why you see at the lake, people build up decks and new roofs and all kinds of stuff, they don't move it, because if they ever move that single wide, they can't put one back. So they do everything in their power to keep that axle there.
Okay, here we go. In North Carolina, local governments cannot restrict or ban manufactured homes based solely on the age of the structure. It says right here, federal HUD standard, while local age limits are illegal, federal rules apply. Homes built before June 15, 1976, which lack a federal HUD certificate label, cannot legally be moved or set up because they do not meet federal safety standards. So nobody's gonna be moving, mobile
That's
home
why they
that was
built
built
it.
prior to 1976.
That's why they
And that's
build
now
stuff.
50 years old.
Yeah. So,
That's what we had debated, that it needed to be
Yeah. Moved up.
earlier year manufacturing, because you're looking at something that's,
A 50-year-old mobile home is gonna be rowdy shape.
that's what I'm saying, that's what we were discussing, to make it.
Easy now, easy.
19,
50's not that old.
96. Yeah, we did it now. Right here, it's not that
They
old.
may take their mama and stuff.
Yeah.
That's some work done to them.
But now for them to go down the road and be,
That should be.
Yeah, that's why they build on to.
yeah.
but I do recommend us adding
yeah, I understand that.
the language.
Yeah.
So does everybody agree on adding that language?
Deal with that.
Alright. One of the other things that I noted when I was looking at this ordinance is we got a section 31.33A. And then right above that, we got section 31.33, which is library. I think what we need to do is leave the 31.33 for library, and then we're gonna have a number left over. We're gonna do away with the 31.36. That was so I think we rename the manufactured home from 31.33A to 31.36. Does everybody agree with renaming that? We're gonna do away with the event venue, the outdoor event.
Yeah.
And I think we need to reuse that number for the manufactured home. Is everybody in agreement with doing that?
Should be fine.
Alright. listed on, find it. The review and change, was the swim and tennis club. It was mentioned there's no districts available, modify or remove it. I'd refer us back to the general statute says that we can plan for future land uses. I think, I know we don't have a district available to allow it, but we don't know about the future. I think we just leave it in there, that's my opinion, but, see how the group feels on that. Leaving 3143, swim and tennis club.
What's the gist of what it says?
Yeah, I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Swim and tennis club, where required, all residential, O&I, that's office and institution, C and CE districts. Minimum area, the minimum area shall be 2 acres. Use separation, there shall be a minimum of 100 feet distance between clubhouse, swimming pools, and lighted tennis courts, and any adjacent residential use or zone property. Operation, the hours of operation allowed shall be 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. The amount of noise generated shall not disrupt the activities of adjacent land use. Screening, parking lots shall be screened from adjoining single-family residential uses by a buffer yard. Required buffer yard shall comply with the requirements of Article 6. Security fencing, outdoor swimming pools shall be protected by a fence in accordance with the county health department's public swimming pool regulations.
Do we have anybody that could put one, the houses going up in the ETJ over the town?
Realty Club?
Get less.
I think the Realty Club should put a swimming pool behind it.
I want to say, somebody can correct me that remembers, because I'm not as old, but I think they considered putting a swimming pool when they started the Realty Club, built that building.
I mean, it's got the tennis court already.
But I think they
And a pickleball.
decided
Fix
to
it out, yeah.
rule that out.
Hadn't brought it back up since then.
Yeah. That
I
swimming
think they thought
pool,
it might be too much
it,
continuing work.
it would be a lot of upkeep,
Yeah.
liability,
Yeah.
maintenance.
Maybe we can talk about the
So,
land.
as far as the ordinance, we need to change it?
I don't think,
We don't need to.
I think we need to leave it,
Yeah, I leave it.
in case something in the future comes up.
Cause you never know what's.
Yeah, Mummire's up and coming. We got some expensive houses coming in here. They might start a country club somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you could have somebody want to put a subdivision in to have a rec area in
Very
the
true,
middle of
very
it.
true, yeah.
So, I think we need to, keep it in our ordinance, so.
Agreed.
Well, they can test the pool out my back door, try it, just see how it works.
We'll be right over.
Yeah, never did pool.
All right, the next one that was on the list to review was temporary hardship, section 3146, temporary hardship manufactured home. I can read everybody what it says, but it says all residential districts, type of unit allowed. A double wide or single wide manufactured home that meets HUD standards was constructed in 1976 or later, contains at least 980 square feet, and has a minimum dimension of 14 feet may be permitted. What was brought up about that was, let's find it here. It brought up about the shows 1976 or older for temporary housing. It just referenced the 3133 that we just adjusted. So I don't think it's really nothing we need to address here, but I wanted to mention it because it was on the list. Does anybody see any reason? I don't see any reason we should to change this, and I didn't finish reading, but it says time limitation. Any special use permit for a temporary hardship manufactured home shall be issued by the Board of Adjustment and will be valid for an 18-month period. At the end of the 18-month period, the applicant for the permit may request that the Board of Adjustment renew the permit for an initial 18-month period. A permit may be renewed indefinitely as long as the board continues to determine that the findings of fact as listed below are met, and they are,
There's a bunch.
it's a bunch. I guess, and I'm gonna use Colleen as an example. Colleen, before the town was incorporated, she went to the county and got a special use permit so they could put a single wide trailer for her mother to live in her backyard. And I think you had to renew that permit every so often. So, that's the gist of what
You're
that.
way ahead of your time.
I mean, what are the limits on a hardship? Like if your house is damaged, is that hardship or is
I
it?
think, well, let's say you got an elderly, you got a
Your
parent.
home in your backyard is the new hardship.
Well, since he mentioned that, Violet had an issue, her house had some damage, and she got a trailer, and when she got the trailer, it was for her benefit at the time to work on her house. But then, after she worked on her house during that time, her mother got disabled, and she ended up putting her mother in her trailer. So it got two uses out of it, but.
So it'd be like if you put it in the backyard to take care of your elderly parent,
Okay.
as an example, or when you go before the Board of Adjustment, you gotta show the finding of facts and, give evidence as to,
Okay.
reason for it.
It's a bad place to be, trust me, because you don't know. I think I would be better now if I had to come before the Board of Adjustment here than I would where I went, because I didn't know nobody.
The county.
And when you don't know anybody, it makes you feel like, how they gonna feel?
They don't care. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
You have
just
to
a
go to
number.
the county.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to go to county.
Yeah, I
My
don't see
money's
any
on you,
reason,
girl.
I don't see any reason to change it.
So, yeah, so we'll leave that as is, and then there was something mentioned here about, the next one on the list was 3506 residential accessory structure. It was, it was listed in both kennel and accessory structure areas. So what I think this is referring to, I believe it's referring to where it states dog pens that is listed as an accessory structure. In my notes, I put it down, Walmart has several residents that have hunting dog pens for the purpose of using those dogs for sport or hunting. There are also citizens that have a 10x10 and a large dog pen that is used to keep their pet. I recommend leaving it. Now, Sheila, can you add anything to that?
I don't remember about that one, Brian.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Sorry, I can't
No.
add anything to that one.
Okay. So I don't see any reason to change it. We're already gonna make an adjustment to 3506,
I think that should cover it.
the shipping containers, so is everybody good with that? All right, so I touched on the Article 5 before. I think we need to leave the Article 5 division for the buffer yards for future development. It was mentioned about, the example was the Rotary Club across the street and then the house next door, which, go ahead.
My version club was built 1964, 1965, which was
So-
before the town's
And I know that house has been there as long as I can remember, and I was born in 1971. So I was probably
Woodrow built that house shortly after the ordinance was up, but I can't tell you which year.
So it goes back to a non-conforming grandfather use, and that's why there's no buffer yard between there. But I do believe we need to keep the buffer yards, our Article 5 Division 40, because for future, land development that may occur. Everybody agree with that?
Would this office would not be in compliance with the residents next door?
The residents next door are nice enough to let us use their driveway. So.
Right, I'm saying, but this building.
I
is
wouldn't
not
pick, we won't pick it on the Royalton building, we were
Oh,
just
no, I was
saying.
asking another example,
Yeah,
like, would
there's
this,
a lot of places that
Oh, wow.
buffer yards are not used that they were supposed to be. But it all goes
I
back
can
to,
take you
we just
to
stand
some-
up in court.
I can
no,
take you
this
some.
used to be a residence.
Yeah.
I can take you to some houses that don't meet the setback to the property line.
Right.
Like right on. So, I mean, so I deal with building codes. And North Carolina's coming out with their new, building code. We're not gonna require everyone that has a house or commercial business to bring their facility up to the current code. I mean, it would be,
Yeah.
it would be a financial burden on anyone to have to bring things up. So that, it's just, everything's just grandfathered in.
Yeah, your house isn't on setback. Hunter's house isn't setback.
Well, I guess it's 39.
Right. Yeah,
He's right on the road.
yeah, I used to scare me. Scare me.
Um,
A little close there.
so the next item,
Coming around that curve.
and I'm not looking for us to make a decision on this tonight. I've drafted up a code of conduct, a resolution that we would present to the town council. It would be up to the town council if they adopted it, but, I put this together. I want us to talk about, some things that we may need to add.
Can I interject, please?
Sure.
The planning board, they can make recommendations to the planning board about to the town council about the code of conduct. You cannot legally make motions or anything else in reference to the code of conduct.
I know that shit.
I just wanted to be sure you did.
We're an advisory board.
Right, I'm just letting you know,
I
I didn't want you to
understand.
make motions on it. That's
We're
the
not
only
gonna
thing.
make a motion, but we would make a recommendation,
Right,
strictly a recommendation to the town council. It would be up to the town council if they wanted to adopt this, but before we send anything, I put this together and then I read through it. So what I wanna do is I wanna get, just, hopefully everybody's read through it. Is there anything that anyone sees that they think should be changed or added? I've read through it since then and found some things that I feel like that needs to be adjusted. So what I wanted to do is just get ideas tonight, and then go back, make some changes, and bring it back and let the board review it. And then once we feel comfortable with it, then recommend it to go to the town council.
You want to share your notes?
One of the things that after I read, I read it on number 3, non-discrimination. I realized that that didn't really sound right, so I feel like it needs to read, treat all persons with fairness and respect without regard to race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, age, veteran status, or other protected characteristics. That's one item. And then related to accountability, I think the first statement needs to say accept responsibility for all official actions and decisions. I do have some things that I think I'm gonna put together next time, just so everybody can see them for, adding some things to the accountability tab. And then I rethought the enforcement. We need to have like first offense, written warning, second offense. First offense would be written warning and require conduct and behavioral training. Then second offense would be public censor, and then the one at the bottom refer to appropriate authorities if laws that may have been violated. So, does anybody have anything they think should be added to it or taken away? Because I want to go back through it and maybe make some adjustments to it. After I read it again today, and I was like, felt like there were some things I needed to adjust.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll probably may make some adjustments to each one, and then let you all review it. If you think they're good, then we'll keep it. If they're not, we can change it. So I wanted to touch on that. We can review that again at the next meeting. So I want to touch on, that kind of brings us through everything we got to review tonight. So what I'm going to do for the August meeting, we've been through pretty much everything that was on that list. So I'm going to be working on getting all of that, a rough draft of everything updated in the ordinance that we have talked about and decided on up until this point. That includes development standards, the table of uses, some definitions, and I'll have that ready for our next meeting. There's 2 items still hanging out. I'm waiting on the town attorney to review the data centers and also review the sexually oriented businesses to make sure everything is the way it needs to be, compliant with state and federal law. And I'm waiting for Joshua Hollis and Cameron to review the massage and body works therapy that we developed to make sure there's nothing that we need to adjust on it. So we'll review that at our next meeting, as well as start going through and reviewing the updates. Also would like to have all of you, we've gone through the list that was generated, which was some time ago. I'd like everybody to kind of really look through the ordinance again to see if there's anything else that you see that we may need to adjust or review or talk about that may need to change at our next meeting. So a little bit of homework for us. I'll get that updated, get it to Sheila, she can get it over to you all. I'll try to go ahead and get it updated pretty quick so we can give extra time for everybody to review it, the changes. That brings us to talk about our next meeting. Our next meeting will be August 25th, Tuesday, August 25th. So we'll see how that is. Does anybody have a conflict with that? And is the 6:30 time still good with everybody?
Yep.
All right. us to the end. Nothing else, well, is there any new business for us here before we go? All right. I'd ask for a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We got a motion and second. All those in favor of adjourning by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? I didn't think there'd be anybody opposed.